If you're stuck trying to decide between an investor and a real estate agent, you're not alone. Let's break it down. Should you sell to an investor or perhaps list with a real estate agent? Get this wrong and it could cost you thousands or months of time wasted. Investors always promise fast cash. Real estate agents promise top dollar. But what's the real? And how do you know what the right choice is for your situation? That's what we're going to talk about in this episode. This series is all about clarity. We're going to break down 5 points dealing with the pros and cons of selling to investors and what to expect when working with a real estate agent. And most importantly, how to figure out which path makes the most sense for you. No hype, no pressure. Let's just talk through it. I'm Jeremy Schooler, your rebel real estate guy. I am the founder of Kitsap Home Pro, a company that is built different, built on purpose, so that we can help real people navigate what I call the common real estate problem. We don't box you into one option. We help you understand the options. We help you create customized solutions for hard to sell homes and property. Okay, point number 1. Choice matters. Investors buy homes directly, usually fast, usually as is. Real estate agents list homes on the open market, aiming for the highest price. If you're in a hurry, an investor might look like a lifesaver. If you want top dollar out of the property, a real estate agent might feel like the only way. But here's the truth, neither is automatically better. It all depends on your situation. And making the wrong call, well, that can cost you time, money, and peace of mind. Point number 2, one isn't necessarily better, just maybe better for certain situations. The key is knowing which one fits the season of life that you're in right now. Think of it like this. Investors are all about speed and simplicity. You don't have to do any repairs, you can skip the showings and get a cash offer, but you might sell for less than that top market value. Real estate agents are all about exposure and competition. You get the house all ready to go, you put it on the open market, showings, hopefully some buyers bid, hopefully you get a choice between a few offers, sign a contract, start the process to close, and that can sometimes take 30 to 90 days, and you might get top dollar. But it can take months, and during that time, you'll likely handle repairs, showings, and will have to pay commissions for the agent's service. But you might net more money in your pocket afterwards. So neither is necessarily wrong, and neither is necessarily right. It's just a trade. It's a trade of money for time and effort. You can skip the time and effort, or you can hope to get more money by putting in the time and effort. Okay, number 3, most sellers don't know that you have options. Here's the real problem. Most sellers don't actually get to see both of the options. If you talk to an investor, they're going to pitch you speed. If you talk to a real estate agent, they're going to pitch you exposure. But rarely will someone lay out both paths side by side with no pressure. That just drives me crazy because it leaves good people making decisions in the dark. And when you don't know your options, you really have a choice. That's why we do things differently at Kitsap Home Pro. It's what I call our high-res method. It stands for hybrid real estate solutions. It is my way of rebelling against what I call the common real estate problem. My goal is to get you informed, let you ask questions in an unbiased atmosphere so that you understand your options, and then let you make an informed choice. Point number 4, your situation dictates the best path. It all comes down to your timeline, your priorities, your stress level, your particular situation. The truth is, there isn't a one-size-fits-all answer here. If you've got time, resources, and a house in decent shape, listing with a real estate agent might make sense. If you're dealing with an inherited property, deferred maintenance, or you just need to move fast, an investor could be the smarter choice. It all comes down to your timeline, your priorities, your stress level, your situation. That's why this decision should not be made on someone else's sales pitch. It should be made based on your reality. It needs to be customizable for your particular situation. It has to serve you, not the other way around. Point number 5, the right choice brings peace of mind. At the end of the day, this isn't about money or speed. It's about peace of mind. When you know you made the decision with full clarity, you don't second guess yourself later on. You don't get to carry that regret. You don't have to carry that regret. That's why this series matters, because once you see the options clearly, you're going to be in a position to be able to make a decision, and the stress lifts. You can move forward knowing you did what was best for you and your family and your particular situation. So, before we jump into the details of investors or real estate agents, remember this. This is not about choosing the best option. It's about choosing the right option. the one that's best for you. And that's what we're here to help you do. If you're already facing this choice, don't rush it. Stick with the series. Hopefully, it will save you stress and maybe even save you some money and time. If you've got questions along the way, drop them in the comments. I'll get back to you. And if you're in Western Washington and want to talk through your own situation, reach out. No pressure, just a conversation. Investor, real estate agent, two different paths, two different ways. The mistake isn't choosing one or the other. The mistake is in choosing blindly. Sometimes it's because of an inheritance you didn't plan on. Sometimes it's a divorce, a job change, or a financial pressure that feels like it's closing in on you. And sometimes it's just life. You've owned a place for years, but now it's time to move on. Whatever your reason, here's what I know. When people hit this point, they're usually stressed, overwhelmed, and just looking for clarity. And instead of getting clarity, they get a whole bunch of noise. Everywhere you look, there's somebody trying to sell you on their way of doing things. The real estate agent says, list it with me and I'll get you top dollar. The investor says, skip all that hassle. Take my cash offer right now. Friends and family chime in with their own opinions, and you're left stuck in the middle thinking, who do I trust? What should I do? Now, before we wrap this episode, let me leave you with a few thoughts that I hope stick with you as we go deeper into the next videos in this series. First, this is your decision, no one else's. Not the agents, not the investors, not even your well-meaning neighbor who knows a guy. At the end of the day, you're the one that has to live with the choice. That's why it matters that you take a little time to get clear. Second, your situation is unique. Maybe you're under pressure to sell fast. Maybe you've got more time to plan. Maybe the house needs major repairs, or maybe it's already in great shape. All of those factors play into what makes the most sense. There is not a one-size-fits-all, and if somebody tells you otherwise, that's a red flag. Third, clarity brings peace. When you slow down long enough to see your options side by side, the stress starts to lift. The uncertainty loses its power. You might still be carrying the weight of the decision, but at least you know you're carrying it with both eyes open. And if you found this video helpful, could you help me out by hitting that like and subscribe button? Thank you so much. Stick around for the rest of the series. We'll dig into more detail of each of these questions.